Alright, welders, let's make our elliptical shape. This is going to be for the final project in our second 5 weeks welding packet. It's going to be the 4-inch pipe through 1/4-inch plate at a 45-degree angle. And we're going to need to make a 4-inch ellipse through the plate at a 45-degree angle. Let's go ahead and let's get to some math first. We're going to have to establish some points on our paper first. But before we do that, let's go ahead and center our paper. It's up to you whichever method you use. You can go corner to corner and strike your center point in the center. Or you can measure up from the bottom, get you a horizontal axis, and then find the center of the page and give ourselves a vertical axis. And make sure that they're straight with each other or perpendicular with each other, okay? We're going to go to some math over here. We need our pipe OD times cosecant of angle 45. So it'll be cosecant of any angle, but in this case, being a 45, we're needing to find the cosecant of angle 45 degrees. Okay, and we also know our outside pipe diameter to be 4.5 inches. Okay, so in this case, if you find the cosecant of 45, that's going to give you the multiplier of 1.414. And we're going to take the OD of our pipe, 4.5 inches, and multiply that times 1.414. And that's going to give us in the neighborhood of, I don't have the math here right off the bat, but it's going to be 6 3/8. So we want to take that and cut that in half, which is 3 3/16. And we want to take half of our 4.5 OD pipe, and we know that to be 2.250 or 2 1/4. And we want to start working from our center point out, okay? So we've already established a center point. I like to mark every center point with the letter C, and we're going to do the same thing here. So we're going to take from point C, we're going to mark over to and mark it as point B, 3 3/16. We're going to go C, and we're going to establish point A at 3 3/16, giving us a total of 3 3/8 from point A to point B. And we're going to take our same thing for our vertical axis and mark it from C to D. Is going to be 2.250, and the same thing from C to E, and that's going to give us these points on our ellipse. And that's how we're going to mark them with your page also. Okay, now it's time to pay attention. This is where we do the nitty-gritty. If you'll take your ruler, a flat ruler, and I need you to mark a line from D to B, just a straight line, and it's going to be a chord. Once we do that, we want to take the radius from C and D, and we want to strike a mark on our horizontal axis, creating point F, and that's where this point is at right here. And that's the radius of C and D, and we're going to strike a chord right here, or strike a mark. That's going to give us point F. Then we're going to take our compass and mark from B to F. Set your compass to B and F, and that's going to give you a radius that we need to strike from D to the chord that we marked, and strike a mark right there, and that's going to give us point G. Once you have this point, these 2 points established, we want to bisect this area right here. We want to bisect G and B. And in order to do that, we need to set our compass, strike us a mark somewhere in this area. From B, set your radius. From G, set your radius this way, and that's going to give us 2 points on our paper here. And we want to line these 2 points, and we want to draw a straight line going through the horizontal axis, going all the way through the vertical axis. And that's going to give us 2 points. It's going to give us H which is this point here, and it's going to also give us I on the horizontal axis right here. Once we get those 2 points, we're halfway there. Take your compass, set your compass from C to I, and we want to transfer that point on the horizontal axis to this point here. And notice that I kept it as I. We're going to take this I and we want to strike it right over here. And we're going to do the same thing with the point that we created at H. Set your compass from C to H, and we want to transfer H to the upper side, or on the top side of our vertical axis. And that's going to give us our 4 points needed to make the elliptical shape. Once we have these shapes or these centers made, we need to go ahead and take a ruler. We've already struck this line here. We need to go ahead and line up H and I, draw a line out. We're going to start at H, go through I on this side, strike a line across, H through I, and we want to strike a line across this way. And it's going to look like a V and then an inverted V. We are there. Now, once we get to this point, we want to set our compass at point H to D. H to D, and then we want to make, that's going to give us this radius here. Okay, take the same compass, and it should match up from H here to E, H to E, and we want to strike a line from this point to this point. That's going to give us the vertical side of our elliptical shape. And then finally, we're going to take our compass, set it from I to B, and we're going to see how close we are. See how your drafting skill is. We're going to mark this radius right here, and it should match up. And then take that same compass, same measurement, make sure it matches with this point I to A, and we want to strike this line here. And that's going to give us our elliptical shape. So from here, let's go to the shop and let's transfer these points on to a piece of plate. Let's go to the shop. All right. Find the center. Here's your 6x8 plate. Find the center. You can use any method you like, corner to corner. Find the center, 4 equal quadrants, and you're going to mark them all the way to the end. Here's our elliptical shape. I've cut it down a bit so we can see our reference lines. And what I need you guys to do, match up the reference lines, side, up and down, and we want to tape it there. Take a little tape, mark your spots, and we're going to center punch 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now I've transferred this to the plate, and I have a center punch on my 4 radius points, and I've added 2 more points, point D and point A, and make sure that you transfer that over to your steel. Alright, so if you'll connect your H to your D, use your compass, and we're going to mark out some points. And we're going to transfer it to the opposite side. Here's we're going to do a radius from this point to this point. And if I did my math correct, there's your elliptical shape. Ready for cutout.